Hi, and welcome to Life Lessons with Barbara, and thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Barbara Aline Johnson, and I'll be sharing lessons that I've learned. Some came the hard way, some not so hard, and many came from the life experiences of other people I've worked with as a counselor, a therapist, a consultant, and most recently a life coach. I am the owner of BEJ and Associates LLC. That's a transformational, emphasis on the word transformational, coaching and consulting company. And that is that my team and I specialize in dismantling, breaking down those barriers that stand between you and the life you truly want to live, or that business you want to build, or a project or masterpiece you hope to create. And at this time, let me give a nice shout out to Wdrb Media for giving me this wonderful opportunity to spend these few minutes with you. And I hope you're enjoying After the Rain that's playing in the background. That mellow tune is one of several creations by the phenomenal Lois Lady Mac McMorris, lead guitarist extraordinaire. Now, to download After the Rain and hear more of her tunes, go to my website, bej-associates.com. You can also hear and see past shows and hear more about my company. And until the end of this month, we're here already. Well, it's not too late. I'm going to extend it another week. If you sign up, letting us know you're interested, you will be able to get a free 45-minute coaching session. Again, that's bej-associates.com, and you're listening to Life Lessons with Barbara. Now today we're celebrating a milestone. This is our 10th show with WDRB Media, and our feature today is the continuation of Melissa's story. Melissa was one of my first clients as a life coach, and she went through the ordeal of being in a domestic violence situation, and we'll hear the third of a 4-part series of my interview with Melissa. And in this segment, we're going to wrap up and put away this topic of domestic violence, and we'll end it with tons of pearls of wisdom. So stay tuned.
I went through 8 years of hell.
Yeah.
And when I met you, it was learning how to put one foot in front of the other, learning how to make priority lists. Being able to make decisions and not struggle over making a decision.
So in that sense, you've given a lot of people hope. You knew who you were, you had a sense of yourself and all of that, but then there was this thing inside that was part of your conditioning.
Yes.
That said, you should have a Prince Charming, someone to take care of you, someone who, would just open the world to you, which is telling little girls, like you said, that you're not okay by yourself.
Right.
You're not enough in and of yourself. And, so those are really, really important life lessons to pass on. And I appreciate you sharing your personal experience and letting other people know, because I think sometimes there's shame involved.
There's a lot of shame involved.
The point I want to make is that everybody is vulnerable. I mean,
yes.
There's no, there's no way to make yourself less vulnerable. I mean, because some people are, like you said, narcissistic, which is a personality disorder.
It is.
And they spend a whole lifetime cultivating that. So
yes.
They nail the charm. I mean, they can charm they read you.
Yes.
They read you, they see what they pick up on weaknesses and stuff because they have been, honing those skills all their life.
Yeah. Since they were a kid.
Exactly. So
and being taught that it's okay.
Right. But the shame is you know, when you start to feel like, well, I must have been an idiot to get into this, and now that I'm in it, I hate that attitude about making your bed. You know, you made this bed, so you gotta lie in it. But I think some of us have that mentality, and that's one of the things that, as a life coach, you know, we try to, you know, we try to get a person to see that that's not true. You know,
Correct.
We were
one thing that I found. One thing that you helped me with was it doesn't matter what your best girlfriend says to you. It doesn't matter what your parent, you're an adult, what your mother says to you or what both of your parents say to you. Those things don't matter because those people know you really well. But when you've got somebody on the outside who you're cultivating kind of a therapeutic relationship with, and that and you as that outside person are able to see in us what we are not in a space to see within ourselves. Even though, mom is telling me that well, you've got all this vitality and you're super smart and you're this and you're that, and you're hearing it from girlfriends and whomever else. Having that person, having you there and reflecting back some of those same things, but it's not family and it's not your girlfriend. Right. It's not someone who you sit and share a pint of ice cream with, instead of dinner because you're depressed and you're going through a low spot that day. Mm-hmm. And then it's okay. So you've got all this stuff. You are smart. You're capable. You're talented. Now, what are you going to do with it? Let's get started on your values. What are values? Oh, I forgot about my own values. You help me to go through and start the process of figuring out things have shifted. A few things have shifted over the last couple of years. But there was plenty of those values that are still exactly the same. They've just maybe evolved a little bit because we evolve in life.
Right. And the objectivity of a life coach.
Yes.
The kind of helper.
Exactly.
Is really valuable because, like you said, family and friends, they love you.
They
give you.
They will support you down a path of nails.
You were so gung-ho when we started working together, and I just had to slow you down. Slow down. Let's just 1, 2, maybe 3 things to work on, but not 93. But and it was a pleasure. I mean, really, you were really easy.
Honey, when I got to you, I was so ready to strip every single piece of my life, of what had been my life, off of me and throw it into a bonfire.
I know. We had to slow your roll a little bit, but it was a great experience for me as a new life coach, to work with someone who's already has that resolve, has connected with her true self, and knew your capabilities, and the fact that there was someone who was going to be detrimental to your son. That was the catalyst right there.
Oh, I discovered how much of a mama bear I am.
I want to say too, before we move on from this, for anybody out there if you're in a situation like this, maybe it doesn't even have to be violent.
It doesn't. There a lot of domestic violence is emotional and psychological and financial. Feeling like if you leave, that you will have nothing and no support.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they cannot take your children away. They can threaten it, but the courts are the ones who have the final say on that. You know, they are only as deep into your head as you allow them to be.
True. And sometimes they're there already before you realize it.
Mm-hmm.
You're second guessing yourself all the time when you are going to them for validation all of a sudden.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And they will they will tell you that you're awesome one moment and invalidate you 5 other places the next minute to just keep you right where they want you.
Right.
So
you can go by a woman can go by her gut and know when things are not right. Mm-hmm. And it's a matter of just being willing to, to look at that.
Yes.
And when you no longer can make decisions, you have to go to him for, to make a decision.
Yep.
You have to go to him to okay something, when you become the child, sort of, and
yes,
he's the adult, and you
absolutely
appeal to this person, and you're going to feel that in your gut. There is a place inside you that
mm-hmm.
that throws up that red flag that that's wrong. But we tend to ignore it, and we think, oh, well, maybe if I make him his favorite dinner and, and dress up or whatever when he comes home.
Oh, all of it.
Whatever, to try to please them. When you see yourself getting there or going there, then it's time to back up and start looking at that.
Yes.
Worse before it ever gets better.
Oh, the only way to make it better is to leave.
Yeah.
There is nothing that we can do to make them better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And better.
That's the lie that they tell, that if you just do this, it'll, or as soon as we buy the house, or as soon as I have this job, or, as soon as the 3rd child comes, or whatever, then everything will be better. And all that it's doing is buying them time in your life.
Right. And getting you more and more entrenched and
yes.
under control.
Absolutely.
And so the longer you wait, the harder it is to get away.
Yep.
So anyway, I hope people were listening.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
Wow, how time flies. That concludes our 10th show, the 10th show of Life Lessons with Barbara. But before we wrap up, I want to just make a point that Melissa and I were not implying that it's not good to be loving and caring and cater to the person who means the world to you, as long as it's not done out of fear. And that's the point. Okay, with that, next week we'll continue with Melissa's story, and we're going to be hearing about what's happening in her life now. And I hope you enjoyed today's show, and we'll tune in every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. for Life Lessons with Barbara. And don't forget to visit my website, bej-associates.com, to download the fabulous Lady Mag's After the Rain, and to check out her other tunes. And you can also hear and see some of our past shows, and you can also learn more about my business and sign up for the 45-minute life coaching session. And while they last, of course. And also, let me remind you of that huge 3-day 80th birthday bash that is being put together in honor of the legendary African-American entrepreneur and humanitarian, Dr. Joe L. Dudley Sr. And that takes place May 20th through the 22nd at Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So time is running out. You can go to my website and find out everything you need to know about that event. The dates, you can purchase your tickets, everything is there. So with that, life lesson for today is, if it's love, it shouldn't hurt. And when it does, maybe it's not love. Namaste.